Here we are again from the car, from Bear Mountain Parking Lot Arena with superfan Marcus Farmer as we just came out of Game 3 of the 2013 Mann Cup. Victoria Shamrocks down the Chiefs by a score of 8-6. We want to apologize to all of our fans, the 9 people that actually watch our show, for
It's 4 people twice and 1 person.
for missing and having technical difficulties after Game 2, so we have to apologize. We'd be throwing some Game 2 references in there. Again, we're with superfan Marcus Farmer. Marcus, Game 3.
Whoa. What is this person doing? Oh, sorry, we got some craziness here in the Bear Mountain parking lot. Everyone knows if you go in nose first, you sit there and wait. This lady's breaking all the rules. Okay.
Yep, kind of like the Chiefs were breaking all the rules tonight, as were their fans.
What a great segue. Well done.
Well, Mark, so, interesting dynamics in the game tonight compared to Game 2. It seemed like Game 2, both teams came out like gangbusters. The fitness was high.
Game 2 was definitely one of the fastest games you'll ever see played. I mean, not that it was a fast game, there was a lot of penalties, but every time they had the ball, they were running and gunning right from the start of the game right to the end of the game. That was one of the most fast and loosely played lacrosse games you'll ever see.
It was one of the best lacrosse games I've ever seen, and I'd agree with that. Now, Game 3 tonight, a totally different pace, a totally different strategy, it appeared, by the Victoria Shamrocks. They came out and they were measured, they were controlled, they looked like they had a plan. The pace was a lot slower.
I'd say they had a plan. Definitely, yeah, I would agree with everything you said there. I think they had a plan to attack from a set offense. And they wanted to run, but they wanted to pick their spots. And they did pick their spots, and when they did pick their spots, they scored. Carson Leung's goal was huge, especially since they had just put in Miller. He had just come into the net there, and first shot on goal on breakaway. Leung buries it by him. I thought Leung was the hero of the game. He didn't get the trophy they give out to all the Pee-wee players at the end of the game. That went to Schattler, who had a good game.
Scored the first goal.
Had a Schattler-like game, but I thought Leung was great on the penalty kill. I mean, he ragged that ball for the entire minute at the end of the game. Clearly, he was frustrating the Chiefs, as you could tell by the way 4 of them tried to take him, make him part of the boards after the game was over. So he was a big difference maker, and his goal was huge on the breakaway tonight.
And he needed to be, and I think after our Game 1 post-show that we talked about, that he was due, well overdue, and he really brought it tonight, that's for sure.
Well, he's a great player. There's no way around that.
Now, the crowd was definitely a factor tonight at Bear Mountain Arena. The security staff came to our section, Section K.
More than once.
Yeah, for several reasons, but they came out several times to throw us all, Shamrocks fans, earplugs.
Green earplugs.
Green earplugs, because the Chiefs fans brought their entire drum corps contingent with them. Our seats were vibrating. There was some jawing in the section. It was a little tense at times, but they are loud, they're proud, their fans come out, they support the team. I don't have a problem with it. Other people do. I think it's just part of the game. What are your thoughts on how the crowd issue was tonight?
There was definitely tense tonight. There was a few belligerent people there. The drums are loud. I don't mind the drums myself. I was happy for the earplugs. I'm not going to say that I wasn't. They made a big difference. The drums the other night, the drums on Saturday night were loud, but they were 2 sections over from us, and I didn't mind them at all. Tonight they were right in our section, and they were right in that front row, which was good because they weren't pounding them in somebody's ear, but they were bouncing off that wall and plexiglass and filling up the section. And I mean, you could feel it in your teeth. It felt like teeth were coming loose. It was very loud. It was vibrating throughout the building, or throughout the section, and the earplugs definitely made a difference. But the drums are part of the game. If you go to a game in Six Nations, I'm sure those drums go the entire time. Of course, if if you go to a game in Six Nations, you know, maybe there's just the 6 drummers there. But the drumming is part of the lacrosse creators game and all that stuff. It's been around for a long time, longer than me.
I think that Victoria did find a way to quiet down those drums by scoring 6 goals in the first period.
Yeah.
That we were thankful for. Only scored 2 goals for the whole rest of the game, and the Chiefs did come back. I want to talk about that penalty kill at the end of the game. Victoria, it was 5-on-3 for the Chiefs. We had 4 minutes to go, and that had to be the greatest penalty kill in lacrosse I've ever seen in my life. Do you want to talk about that penalty kill? Because that was spectacular.
Well, first of all, you got to say Matt Vince was the difference tonight.
Matt Vince was
outstanding. We knew he had to be. In that second period, he played an absolutely amazing second period. Made every save, made saves on guys coming across the crease on him. He just did everything that you could do. He was awesome in that period. They scored a few goals in the third for sure. They got close, but he didn't let them all the way back, and that's all that matters. He was the chief penalty killer. Oh yeah, chief penalty killer. He was their number 1 penalty killer in that 4-minute thing. He made a few great saves, and then you got Tyler Haas getting those loose balls like he does, and we already talked about Carson Leong and Reese Dutch. I mean, you can't say enough about the play he made there to kill that 4-minute penalty off. I mean, running, gunning, beating 3 guys to the ball numerous times. He probably took 35, 40 seconds off the clock on his own and completely frustrated the Chiefs. And the Chiefs were frustrated. You could tell they were jawing. They were standing there in the lineup to get their Pee Wee prizes at the end of the game, and they were yelling across at the Shamrocks. Rory Smith was clearly frustrated. He was yelling at everybody he could yell at. A few of their defensemen, their big guys, were just sitting there just jawing. They couldn't help themselves. They were a very frustrated team. I guess being down 6-2 at the end of one, things just got worse for them as the game went on. So.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about the jawing, because we commented after game 2 that it got a little bit chippy, and there was quite a bit of pushing and shoving at the very end of the game, actually after the game was over. And we discussed before the game tonight how, you know, potentially that could go at the end of the second period. We had a bit of a melee where all the teams got involved. The refs got in there and cleared it up. How do you see this moving forward in game 4 and 5 with a level of tension between the teams that, you know, is definitely apparent a lot more in game 2 and in game 3?
Well, the tension's only going to continue to build. We're into the series now. It almost feels like the series started at the end of game 2 when it was tied up 1-1, and they got mixed up there at the bench, and they couldn't agree to come together in the lines and be nice to one another. It was definitely tense tonight. It's only going to be more so tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's game is huge. Chiefs win 2-2. We're knotted up, and we got a best of 3 going into the weekend. Shamrocks win. They're up 3-1, and I think the Chiefs know they don't want to be down 3-1 to this Shamrocks team, having to play a game right away on Wednesday night. So tomorrow night's game I expect to be as intense and as hard hitting as and the Chiefs defense they take hard hitting to the extreme. I mean, it's kill or be killed out there sometimes. And the Shamrocks play a good solid defense, and they hit hard too, but that Chiefs defense, they're like a gang.
Well, speaking of going into tomorrow night, I think that's a good place for us to wrap up, and really looking forward to game 4 of the Mann Cup series at Barry Mountain at 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yeah. Very excited.
We'll see you after tomorrow night's game.
Don't miss the warm-up.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow night, lacrosse fans. Thanks for watching. You're with Marcus and Shauna. Good night.
Good night, everybody.